In this example, we are going to graph a linear inequality in one variable. The question says, what is the graph of each inequality in the coordinate plane? Let's have a look at part A of this question. Basically, we need to graph x more than -1. In order to do this question, we need to consider a few steps before we can graph this inequality. So let me go through 5 steps to make sure you understand fully how to graph an inequality with one variable. Step number 1. We will consider the inequality x more than -1 to be x equal to -1. This would be our first step. Step number 2. We will graph the equation x equal to -1 by plotting few points on the coordinate plane. So let's say I would like to plot a point at x is equal to -1. Another possibility of x equal to -1 could be like this, or like this, or like this. All these 4 points are on x equal to -1, but of course with different y values. Now let's look at step number 3. In this step, we would like to connect these 4 points with a straight line. At this step, we have successfully plotted a graph of x is equal to -1. But wait, the question says we need to graph an inequality and not an equation. So therefore, we have not finished our question yet. Step number 4. In this step, we need to ask ourselves that is the inequality more than or equal to. As we can see from the question that the inequality is more than only, therefore our line would be a dotted line. So now we can bring our coordinate plane back, and instead of having a solid line, we will have a dotted line. So just remember that if you have an inequality which is more than or less than but not equal to, then you should draw a dotted line. Right, the last step. Since the question states x is more than -1, that means we should take all the values of x to be more than -1. So the possible solution could be like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. All of these points are solution of x more than -1. Okay, what about this point? Since this point is less than -1, therefore it is not a solution of x more than -1. Let's take another point. Once again, this point is also less than -1, therefore it is not a solution to our question. So what is the solution? What is the solution to our question? Well, here is the solution. All this green part, which is on the right side of dotted line, is a solution x more than -1. Finally, note a very important thing, that the red points on the dotted line are not part of the solution. That's why the green shaded part is next to the dotted line but not on the dotted line. I hope you understood the video, and thank you for watching.